If you've ever wondered how some people's money seems to grow faster or how small, consistent habits lead to big payoffs, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll understand how the 10-3-2 rule harnesses compound interest to build genuine, lasting wealth, and how you can apply it to save for retirement, buy a home, or fund an education. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, once said, "The first $100,000 is the hardest." And he wasn't joking. Reaching that milestone can feel like climbing a mountain while everyday bills and debts continue to weigh you down. But here's the magic. Once you hit that first milestone, compounding takes off. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, growing faster and faster as it picks up more and more snow. Think of compound interest like planting a seed. You start with a $100,000 seed, and with regular contributions, say $500 a month, at a steady pace of a 10% return, that seed grows slowly at first. But as it gets bigger and bigger, every bit of growth produces even more growth. Time is your best friend here. The longer you let it grow, the bigger it gets. Consider Warren Buffett. He began investing at age 11, but most of his wealth was built after he turned 50. Approximately 99% of his fortune came after that milestone. Warren Buffett is the ultimate example of how a disciplined approach and the power of compound interest can turn even small, consistent investments into enormous wealth over time. Now we see that the power behind compound interest. Let's break down exactly how the 10-3-2 rule works. The 10-3-2 rule is a simple way to understand how compound interest works over a 15-year period. I've broken it down into 3 easy to remember phases. In the first 10 years, you're laying down a solid base. So if you can imagine planting your first $100,000 and nurturing it with your monthly contributions. Over this period, your money grows steadily into a robust foundation. So whether you're saving for retirement or paying down a house, starting early is key. Now, once your foundation is in place, the next 3 years kicks in as the acceleration phase. Because your base is now larger, the same 10% produces much more in absolute terms. It's like your small plant suddenly starts shooting up, growing at an accelerated pace. So if you're saving for a house, this is when your funds start to really take off. What took 10 years to build now only happens in 3 years. Finally, in the last 2 years, your portfolio experiences an explosive boost. In this short period, your money jumps by an amount nearly equal to what you've built in the first 10 years. Those final couple of years can provide a significant boost to your education. This breakdown shows that while the early years require patience and persistence, the later years deliver explosive gains, thanks to the power of compounding. Now let's break down the numbers using simple scenario. Let's say you had a $100,000 investment and you made equal contributions every month of about $500, let's say $6,000 per year, with an annual return of 10%, and you had a time horizon of 15 years. In phase 1, from years 1 to 10, you're building that foundation. And over these 10 years, your investment grows steadily. By the end of year 10, your combined savings and returns bring your portfolio to about over $350,000. So it took you 10 years to build a strong, stable foundation to this figure. Now in phase 2, years 11 through 13, then in just 3 years, that $350,000 base approximately yields another $128,000. Now keep this in mind. With a larger base, that same 10% return now generates much more money in a shorter amount of time. Finally, in the last 2 years, your portfolio jumps up by $125,000. The final surge in growth nearly matches growth in phase 2 with only just 2 years. So just in 2 years, you've produced nearly as much growth as the entire foundation period. That's the explosive magic of compound interest. Now together, these numbers reveal a powerful truth. The later years of investing can nearly match or even exceed the growth built over the early years, all because of the compounding effect. Growing up, I've always thought saving money meant just tucking it away safely. I'm part Chinese, and in this culture, we're taught to save, especially during Chinese New Year when we receive these red envelopes. My mom used to give me $2 bills with lucky numbers totaling to 27 because 2 plus 7 equals 9, which is considered lucky. I treasured these red envelopes and the bills, these $2 bills, because my mom gave them to me. And over time, I just left them there piling. But here's the kicker. All that money was just sitting there. I didn't know that while saving is important, investing is what really builds wealth. These stacks of precious $2 bills never grew because they weren't put to work. Now, if I had to explain this to my 4-year-old daughter, though I know it might be a bit much for her, I'd say something like this. Imagine your money isn't just for buying candy or toys. Think about it as a box of building blocks. Saving is like keeping those blocks safe, but investing is what lets you build something amazing, like your very own Barbie dream house or your very own epic playground with giant slides. It's not magic. It's about using your money as a tool to give you more freedom, options, and opportunities. It's a lesson for all of us, no matter our age. We need to understand that saving is great, but investing turns those savings into quiet wealth that works for you over time. Now that you understand the 10-3-2 rule, here are some practical tips to put it into action. First is setting up your automatic savings. Set up automatic transfers so you're investing without having to think about it every month. This helps you stay consistent even on your busiest days. For more on that, you can check out my video over here. You want to stay consistent even in downturns. Market dips are normal, especially instead of panicking and pulling out your money, stick to their plan. Remember, the power of compounding is the strongest over the long term. So when saving for retirement, think of market dips as opportunities to buy more of a solid investment at lower price. Last but not least, continue reading about investing. Follow financial news and watch educational videos. The more you know, the better you can adjust your strategy as needed. For me, automating my savings was a total game changer. Once I set up those automatic transfers, I stopped worrying about whether I'd remember to save. I simply watched my money work quietly in the background. Time is your best friend when it comes to compounding. The sooner you start, the better your long-term results are. Taking money out before you really need it can drastically reduce the benefits of compounding. So keep your money in there, invest it as long as possible. Hidden costs like high fees, expense ratios, and management fees, you want to make sure you keep an eye out on those. Last but not least, reacting to short-term market swings often leads to panic selling. Stick to your plan unless there's a strategic reason to change it. Compound interest is incredibly powerful. Remember Charlie Munger insight about the first $100,000. The 10-3-2 rule breaks down your investment journey into 3 clear phases, showing that while the early years require patience, the later years deliver exponential growth. Now, we showed it for 15 years, but imagine 20, 25, 30 years. So whether you're saving for retirement, buying a home, or funding education, start with what you have, invest consistently, and let time work its magic. So what's one small change you can make this week to start investing more wisely? Let me know in the comment box below. That's the 10-3-2 rule, a simple, questionable roadmap for harnessing the power of compounding. Remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. By following this approach and staying consistent, you're setting yourself up for lasting financial freedom. If this video helped you, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe for more content. Now, if you're interested in what the rich don't buy, you can check out my next video over here. See you in the next one.